chat, and then we're going to discuss Emeka Egbuka. You know what I'm saying? I am taking a quick break, and I feel like we can talk a little bit of football, because what I want to start doing is I want to start talking about these prospects that I do shorts on. I want to be able to cover more players, more players that the Dallas Cowboys might be interested in. I don't know if people have figured out what I've been doing, but what I've been doing is I've been doing shorts on the players that the Cowboys have been bringing in for 30-day visits, the official 30-day visits. That way we get an opportunity to talk about those guys, and you get an opportunity to know what my thought process is behind these players. So far, I think Caleb Johnson was probably the only one that I did that wasn't a 30 visit, but I expect that he probably will be. But I already did a video on Hampton. I already did a short on Hampton. I already did a video on Henderson, and did a short on him. I already did that for Genty. Done it multiple times. What's up, Nisi? How you doing? Make sure you hit that like button so that people know that we here. And, that way I'm not talking to myself too in the comments. And I did Luther Burden. So I did a short on Luther Burden, but we didn't talk about Luther Burden. I will talk about Luther Burden another time because I want to piggyback off of that. What's going on, Regina? How you doing? Make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate you. So Emeka Egbuka is an interesting prospect for me. I actually, when I look at him, right, and I look at the consensus boards, I think that the only two receivers that you can consistently have over him probably are Tet and maybe Luther Burden. I know some people have Golden, but Egbuka is probably like wide receiver 3 on a lot of boards. And I think that a lot of it has to do with draft fatigue. And the reason that I say that is I listened to Vach and Brian do an exercise the other day, and I think that it was the Jackson Smith and Jigba year when he came out. That, I believe, was the year that Egbuka went off. And I remember watching the film, and we're like, damn, man, wish he was coming out, man. He going to be a beast the next year. Then he ended up getting hurt last year and missing 3 games due to an ankle injury. And the productivity kind of shifted down. So this year he came back, had a very, very solid season as a number 2 to Jeremiah Smith. And so what he showed you is that he could be your perfect Robin for day one. So I don't think that it's a secret that Ohio State does a great job at producing receivers. I mean, they come in NFL ready. Their bodies are ready, getting off of press coverage, their hands. They're just ready to hit the door. They're just ready to hit the ground running. So I think that so to hit the like button, I think it's like 3 dots or something like that, and then you hit it. It's like 3 dots at the top right hand corner, and then you can hit like that way. But yeah, so there's no secret that Ohio State knows how to do it, and he's played a lot of snaps. He's gotten a lot of starts. So the things that I really like about him, I just like that he's very, very complete. I think that I don't know that there's anything that he can't do. And if you feel like there's something that he can't do, it's probably because Ohio State didn't ask him to do it. He can run routes in the slot. He can win on the outside. He can block. You know what I'm saying? He can help in the run game. What's going on, D Money? There's not much he can do. I just think that when you look at guys like Luther Burden, you look at Tet McMillan, you look at Golden, you look at those guys and you say they have a higher ceiling because you've seen more of Emeka Egbuka than you've seen them. But with that exercise, Brian and Vach talked about it, and it was like, where would you take Emeka Egbuka? And I would have taken him over Jackson Smith and Jigba. Because when I watched Jackson Smith and Jigba's tape that year, when he was my number 1, I thought Egbuka looked better when I watched him. I would have taken Egbuka over him. And so when I think about that, to me, that means that he's a bona fide number 1 round grade. And so when you think about it and you think about how people talk about Egbuka, nobody ever Says anything bad about him. What's up, D Money? Yeah, D Money. I went and played. I played football at Howard. I played football at Howard. Check the roster from 2005 to 2000. I think 7 or 2008. I think 2008. Yeah, check the rosters, bro. I'm on there. You'll find me. Um, yeah, Egbuka. When you hear people talk about Egbuka, they don't have anything bad to say about him. They don't have anything bad to say. It's just that the other guys, you talk about the upside of the other guys because they're a little bit more fresh. And this is what I talked about the other day with draft fatigue. And this is why I actually wanted to have this exercise. Because when you look at his tape, there's nothing that tells you that he shouldn't be, that he should fall down any boards. I think that if he falls out of the first round, I don't think he will, because I think a good team is going to take him. A good team is going to get a guy that is going to be a professional from day one. And I think that if he's your top player on your board, like let's say Ted is gone, Jency's gone, but you don't feel high enough about any of the linemen, I think you got to consider taking them. Sorry, guys. Hold on real fast. Let me plug my... Let me make sure that I plug this computer in. All right, cool. Yes, I'm just going live from my phone right now. But yeah, Emeka Egbuka, let's talk about... So I'm on PFF right now, and we're going to talk about the number of snaps that he's gotten over the years. So, and he also played in 2021 too. So we've seen a lot of him, and I fear that because we've seen a lot of him, it's given us more opportunities to poke holes in what his game is. But it's like when you look at it and you've had more opportunities than any of these other receivers out there, and you can't really poke those holes, it lets you know that he probably was ready 2 years ago to come out. The injury probably really hindered him last year. And then also keep in mind, you have a hindered season due to injury, and then there was a deep wide receiver class last year, so made sense for him to come back. But we're going to talk about from 2022 to 2024. Played in 13 games in 2022, 10 games in 2023, 16 games in 2024. So 404 snaps in 2022, 265 snaps in 2023, and then 423 snaps in 2024. And also remember, they had a longer season. They made the playoffs. They won the whole thing. I think it was the first year of the 12 teams. So he had 10 touchdowns in 2022, 10 touchdowns in 2024. And understand, too, with the longer season, I mean, he had more opportunities to get higher yards. But the productivity is there, man. And if you watch them, you know that Ohio State has weapons. They got weapons out the... They got weapons like crazy, man. I mean, I could just name them off the top. I could just name them Jeremiah Smith, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins. I know that they have they had another receiver too. Whoever number one is, they got another receiver. I mean, they just had a plethora of weapons, and he still got 1,000 yards this year. And if you watch him, they don't win the championship without him. So it's like he wasn't the focal point, but you don't win without him. And those type of players, you want a whole bunch of those type of players. You want those type of players because they're going to help you win championships. And that's kind of what I want to look at. Out of the receivers that we're talking about here, he's the big, between him and Matthew Golden. I saw those guys in big games show up. But I've seen Emeka Egbuka do it time and time and time and time again. Somebody had a comment. I don't know how to bring it up. Oh, Chris Stovall said, "Truth, we've seen so much of Egbuka without flaws that it seems like he is a high floor, low ceiling. In my opinion, his floor is higher than T-Mac's ceiling. He also makes everything look effortless." My guy Arian says Egbuka chain mover, really good blocker in the run game too. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And so when I look at my team, And I look at some of the things that we asked Mingo to do in the blocking game, some of the things that we asked Tolbert to do. He can come in right now and he's more talented than those guys. He's more talented. He's faster. He has better hands, better route runner. I mean, if the Cowboys were to draft Egbuka at 12, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't know how you could be mad at that. You know, I really wanted to talk about the prospect because I really think I really think we're overcomplicating it when it comes to him. The dude has flat out shown you time and time again with a lot of snaps, with a lot of microscope being at Ohio State, that he can flat out get it done. And for me, I think that if you're looking for somebody to come in, hit the ground running, like for us, we need a guy. If we're going to draft a receiver, we kind of need that receiver to come in and hit the ground running. We need that receiver to be the Batman that CeeDee Lamb needs. So D-Money say they show the same player like T-Mac. Well, I think that Egbuka was shown a lot more than T-Mac was. I think he was shown more than T-Mac was. And that's why people are tired of him. And I think people are tired of T-Mac too. Like, if you think about it with the Cowboys talk, we've been doing this since about November. We've been doing about it since November. So a lot of the conversations stem around the same people, and we just get tired of it. And Egbuka was one of the first. I remember Foots brought him up. So Cristobal said, I think he is the best fit of any player coming out. His selfless attitude will fit great with CD. I agree. I totally agree. And if it's not Tet, I'm leaning more toward. So it's crazy that I like a lot of these players for different things, and I feel like they can fit in for different reasons. I like Luther Burden for his explosiveness. I don't think that Luther Burden is going to hit the ground running like Egbuka would, but he has an extremely high ceiling, and with his temperament, I see some Dez Bryant. I do, and that was good for us. You know what I'm saying? With Tet, I see somebody with a high catch radius. You know, I know that people are talking about, you know, press coverage this, press coverage that. I don't think that the things that Tet has issues with can't be coached up. The talent outweighs, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could be nitpicky, but he's a bona fide number one. You know what I'm saying? So Emeka Egbuka, to me, I don't think you can get a hand on. I don't think you can jam him up like that. I think you can line them up everywhere. I think you could do a whole bunch of different things with him. I think he's very, very smart. He showed you in that championship game when they were making adjustments, and he, you know, was over there with the iPad, and he was talking to his coaches, talking to the quarterbacks. He's a very, very cerebral player, and to me, I think that, like, hey, we talking about winning championships, or if we talking about getting back to that, that's the type of player to me. You know what I'm saying? We're not, and see, these are the type of things that we like in our underdogs. So we'll draft underdogs with all of those same qualities. But he has talent. He has the athleticism. And he has that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, and like Cristobal brought up, from Ohio State, where it's between Ohio State and LSU, man, they're producing a lot of NFL-ready receivers, like out the gate. Out the gate. So you got to be able to throw that out there too. And I know that a lot of people, they don't like the draft with helmets or you know, the logo on the helmet, but I mean, we've been watching it time and time again. So I personally don't have an issue with it. I love the fact that he's part of the official 30-day visit list. I love that the Cowboys are leaving no rocks unturned when it comes to him, when it comes to this receiver room. I mean, if you look, Burden, Tet, Emeka, if it's one of those three, I think you get a really good player. So I just want to let you guys know that. If we do draft Emeka Egbuka, be very, very excited about what we're going to get. Be very, very excited. You know what I'm saying? Almost congratulate CeeDee Lamb for longevity, because Emeka Egbuka is going to make him better. He's going to make him better. He's going to come in and make CeeDee Lamb a more productive receiver. If I'm thinking about it, as far as how his head is on straight, how he has the IQ, how he's willing to do all of the dirty work, I don't know that there is another one of these receivers that will come in day one and make CeeDee Lamb make his job easier. You know what I'm saying? There's still going to be a learning curve with Ted. There'll be a learning curve with Burden. I mean, there'll be a learning curve with Emeka Egbuka too, but the difference is his role is going to be more defined than those guys are. His role is going to be more defined. And if we do need him to step up, if CD's getting shut down or this or that, he's dependable. And he's going to be able to win those. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a better athlete than CD Lamb is. He's a better athlete. And I think that that's the part that's getting lost in all of this. Like, if you go and you look at my short today, go take a look at my short. We got 19 people on here. If you haven't, well, for one, everybody hit the like button if you can. But if you get a chance to go look at my short, he plays with that speed too. Now, if there is one knock that I might have, I probably would like him to be a little better as far as like just being a little stronger with maybe breaking tackles. But that's nitpicky. He's a wide receiver. I just need you to get open and move the chains, bro. And every now and then beat somebody over the top. That's all I really need. You know what I'm saying? Because we got CeeDee Lamb on the other side. We got CeeDee Lamb moving here, moving there. We just need somebody else dependable that can come in and make the room better. And I think that he offers that. And if you're getting that from a player, from any of those three players, you can't be mad at any of them if any of them are picked at number 12, in my opinion. I don't think any of them. Now, maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but is it a reach if you get a guy that's going to help you? That's what you got to look at. That's going to help you from day one. Is it a reach? And also, you're getting guys that you don't have to convert their position. That's what I want to get away from. You know what I'm saying? Like, drafting a 3 technique, and we don't know he's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Drafting a 1 technique, and he might not be better than Mozzie is right now as a pro. I can guarantee you that Emeka Egbuka, Luther Burden, Tedoroa McMillan, they're better than what we got in that room right now at receiver. And some of them, Burden and Tet, I think could surpass CeeDee Lamb with their ceilings. Emeka Egbuka could get close to what CeeDee Lamb is. And when you think about it that way, because think about this, right? We knew CeeDee Lamb when we drafted him at 17. We knew he wasn't going to come in and be better than Amari right then and there. We knew he wasn't going to be better than Gallup right then and there. But we knew that he was going to make that room better. And we also knew what Amari's contract was and how that worked out. And I think that drafting CeeDee Lamb in that room, it worked out. Because we didn't overthink the talent. We knew what we were looking at. We knew what was on our board. We knew what the tape said. And we just went out there and we got the guy. And I think that you got to do that again. I think you got to do that again. What's up? Let's see. Regina said, who's better in the slot, Lamb or Egbuka? Here's the beauty of it, Regina. You can move both of them everywhere. It doesn't matter who's better in the slot. That's the cool thing about it. I think both of them can win anywhere. And when you got guys who can win anywhere, you could do a lot more, and you can make the offense a lot easier for your quarterback. Because now at this point, you got guys who can get to their spots. You got guys who can win matchups. And that's ultimately what we're looking for in a wide receiver too right now. I think we've seen enough sample size of Jalen Tolbert to know that he's not that. Wide receiver 3, possibly. Wide receiver 3, possibly. But we've seen enough sample size to know that Jalen Tolbert is not going to evolve. He's not going to evolve into that. He doesn't have the pedigree that Egbuka has, that McMillan has, that Burden has. He just doesn't. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I want people to understand this. We didn't miss with Tolbert. Tolbert is a solid player. He's a solid player. With anywhere else, he wouldn't be a number 2. And that's okay. it's okay that he's not a bona fide number 2. You know what I'm saying? As far as consistency goes, because people will look and say, led us in touchdowns last year. Well, CeeDee Lamb was hurt and Dak was out. But what did leading us in touchdowns amount to? When Dak was out there, he couldn't get open. Dak was out there, he couldn't get open. They was jamming bro up. They was jamming him up. And at this point, it's like, it's not about him being, you know what I'm saying? It's not about him producing bad, because he produced for what he could do. I think we're getting the most out of Jalen Tolbert that we can. I think we're getting the most out of him. The issue is, and like frankly, football is talking about him, the high expectations was because we didn't bring in an adequate replacement for Amari Cooper and then Michael Gallup. You know, the expectation for him was to eventually become that, and he's just not that. And that's okay. It's all right. Nobody's saying cut Jalen Tolbert. Nah, I just want somebody in here that's better than Jalen Tolbert, that can push him back, and then maybe we push another one of these receivers like Brooks or somebody like that off the roster. You know what I'm saying? Off the roster completely. You know what I'm saying? We push it down a notch. Maybe we have Mingo and Jalen Brooks fight it out, where I think Mingo is I think Mingo has more pedigree. Pedigree matters, guys. Pedigree matters. When you get pedigree and you coach them up, it's much better than not having pedigree with the coached up person. I mean, Mike Tomlin changed my life with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people running away from coaching. But pedigree is what matters. And what I mean by pedigree, my guy Arian can attest to this. He knows what I'm talking about. You know when you see a dude on the field. You know, like, when you played, and I talk about this all the time. When I played running back, I was a scat back. I was lucky to get a couple carries here and there. I was lucky to start a few games at kick return. Not lucky, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I wasn't a bona fide RB1. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that I could be I knew that they were grooming me to be like a number 2. And if the coaches hadn't changed, you know, who knows what would have happened. But you know when a dude is a dude. You know when there's an RB1. You know when there's a receiver that just can wake up and do things better than you. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter how hard you work. And the statement that hard work can beat talent when talent doesn't work hard, that is true. That is absolutely true. But what happens if talent works hard? If talent works hard, non-talent work hard, don't beat talent that work hard. You look at Emeka Egbuka, you look at the things that he's able to do, you look at the numbers he's able to put up. You do not put up that RAS score if you don't work hard. He didn't wake up out of bed and is good at that stuff. And you don't wake up out of bed and put the tape, put the film out there like he did if you don't work hard. You don't, in the national championship game, be able to work on the iPad and help create adjustments with your team to help them win and get in better positions. You don't do that if you don't work hard. You don't do that. So talent that works hard is always going to be non-talent that works hard. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are such situations where you get people who aren't as talented, who are try-hard people, who are try-hards, and, you know what I'm saying, they outwork the room and it allows them to belong. But I can guarantee you this, there's probably a handful of try-hards in the Hall of Fame. Do with that info as you may. But there's only a few handful of try-hards that are in the Hall of Fame. I probably can't even name none, if I'm being honest with y'all. Probably can't name none. They probably all had talent. Talent and work hard. So I just kind of wanted to get out here, talk about Emeka Egbuka, you know, tell you my thoughts about him, tell you, because ultimately a lot of times in the draft process, I'll focus on certain things and I never really get to players and really never get to their due. But Emeka Egbuka, he about as real as they come. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for commenting. Make sure everybody who watches, please hit that like button, man. Let's get the algorithm back. We're going to do that. And as I put out these shorts, I'm going to try and do lives with all of them. You know, we'll do a Burden one. We'll do a Tech one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll probably be a lot like this, but we'll have an opportunity to really just hone in on those players. And you guys will know. DMV said this when we drafted them. You'll know that. So, appreciate y'all, man. We out. Peace.